All right, Chris.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, good. So I was thinking before every episode of the podcast from now on, it would be good to do, one of those like 6 degrees of separation kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to explain just how small Hollywood is by taking you through, working our way back. We'll start at Predator and we'll work our way back to Predator in as few moves as possible.
Okay.
Sound okay?
Yeah.
So Predator was sold around Hollywood as Alien in the Jungle, right?
Okay.
Now, Alien was sold around Hollywood as Jaws in Space, which pretty much makes Predator Jaws in the Jungle. With me so far?
Mm-hmm.
So Jaws in the Jungle sounds like George of the Jungle, which is based on Tarzan. Tarzan was adapted in 1999 by Disney and soundtracked by Phil Collins. Phil Collins also featured on the soundtrack to Disney's Brother Bear, which starred fellow Canadian Rick Moranis, right? Rick Moranis also starred in the direct-to-video Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, which starred a young Mila Kunis. Now, Mila Kunis played Mona Sachs in the 2008 adaptation of Max Payne, the video game. Sean Ryan was hired to write the script to Max Payne, following his creation of the TV series The Shield, right?
Right.
Now, The Shield starred actor Carl Weathers, who played Joe Clark in the series. Now, Carl Weathers famously played Apollo Creed opposite Sylvester Stallone in Rocky, right? Now, in Rocky 3, Stallone played Rocky against Mr. T, who played Clubber Lang. Now, Mr. T fought at the first WrestleMania alongside Hulk Hogan against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff, right? Now, who was on commentary, Chris? None other than Jesse Ventura, who went on to star in Batman and Robin, alongside fellow future governor of a US state, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger starred, of course, in True Lies, alongside Eliza Dushku, who played Faith in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. 5 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer were written by Drew Goddard, who also wrote 9 episodes of ABC's Lost. Lost starred Naveen Andrews as Saeed, and Naveen Andrews played Sanjay in 2002's Rollerball. Rollerball was directed by John McTiernan. And John McTiernan's previous work included The 13th Warrior, The Thomas Crown Affair, The Last Action Hero, as well as Die Hard, whose cinematography was managed by Jan de Bont, who went on to direct Speed, which starred Keanu Reeves, who played Neo in The Matrix, opposite Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith. Weaving also played V in V for Vendetta, which also starred Stephen Fry as Dietrich. Stephen Fry has worked for many years with the BBC. The BBC also worked with David Attenborough. With me so far? David Attenborough made a series called The Hunt, which was about prey and predators. And that just goes to show you, Chris, how small Hollywood really is.
I think that's more than 6 degrees, Joe.
Is it? Hello, and welcome to episode 103 of the How to Survive podcast. My name's Joe. Joining me as ever is Chris Morris. Hello, Chris Morris.
Joe, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
After a week. Good to be talking about a classic this week. Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, and a band of merry men.
Yeah.
And a woman.
Yes.
And a creature called Predator. If you haven't seen Predator, it's available on Amazon to stream. Although maybe you should have seen it by now. It's been 35 years or something since it's been out.
Yeah.
And it's quite good, but not that good.
Yeah.
People talk about it in the same breath as Alien, and I think unfairly.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
No.
It's worth talking about, though. There's some fun to be had, and we'll be having lots of fun. First of all, we'll recap the plot. talk about the good points and the bad points of the movie, and then we'll throw on with our usual How to Survive discussion.
Sure.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
In a part of the world where there are no rules.
We pick up their trail at the chopper, run them down, grab those hostages before anybody knows we were there. What do you mean we?
Deep in the jungle, where nothing that lives is safe.
You lose it here, you're in a world of hurt. Showtime, kid. Knock, knock.
An elite rescue squad
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
is being led by the ultimate warrior.
We need the best. That's why you're here.
But now,
What's got Billy so spooked?
there's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man. They're up against the ultimate enemy.
Holy Mother of God.
Nothing like it has ever been on Earth before.
She says the jungle just came alive and took him.
We cannot see it,
No blood, no bodies. We hit nothing.
but it sees the heat of our bodies and the heat of our fear.
Whatever it is out there, it killed Hopper. And now it wants us.
It kills for pleasure.
He was skinned alive.
It hunts for sport.
He's killing us one at a time. We're all gonna die.
So our story begins with a spacecraft flying through space. It shoots a capsule, and that capsule hurtles towards an unsuspecting planet. Now that planet is at Epoch J2000, aphelion 152,100,000 kilometers. Perihelion 147,095,000 kilometers. Semi-major axis is 149,598,023 kilometers. The eccentricity is 0.0167086. Have you guessed what it is yet, Chris? It's planet Earth.
He's got such a smug look on his face right now.
Meanwhile, back on Earth, a crack team of mercenaries are summoned to the Valverde jungle in Venezuela. They are led by Major Dutch Schaefer, and they include Mac Elliott, Billy Soul, Blaine Cooper, Poncho Ramirez, and Rick Hawkins. They are enlisted to help Dutch's old friend Dillon head into the jungle to retrieve a government official who has been captured by insurgents. The team, along with Dillon, head over the border into Venezuela. They're airdropped into the jungle and almost immediately find a downed chopper. The passengers of the chopper are also soon discovered, and they've been choppered as well, skinned alive and hung upside down in the jungle.
Nasty business.
Yeah. Tracker Billy Soul notes that there are bullet casings suggesting that the group in the chopper were shooting in all directions, but there are no traces of anyone ambushing them or making an escape. It's revealed through the use of heat vision that the group are being tracked by a seemingly unseen entity which mutters and gurgles to itself. Soon, the team fall upon the insurgents' camp, and Dutch observes one of the militants executing a prisoner. The crack team then lays waste to the camp, blowing up every single hiding place and executing everyone they find. They're surprised when it's revealed that the hostages were also killed. They're even more surprised to learn that the hostages were actually CIA agents and that Dillon tricked them. They thought they were rescuing a diplomat, but they were actually recovering intelligence from CIA operatives. The only survivor of the massacre was a woman named Anna. They handcuff her and lead her away from the camp. Soon, they are ambushed by an invisible force which runs out of the jungle and kills and disembowels Hawkins. The creature spares Anna, but she's unable to convince the team what she saw. They begin combing the jungle for a sign of the attacker, and Blaine is killed by the creature, which shoots him with a plasma cannon. The rest of the group waste all their bullets, firing mindlessly into the jungle. Anna notes some strange green blood on a leaf, but doesn't tell anyone. The group lay various traps for the creature, and one of them works, but the creature breaks free and invisibly disappears into the jungle, so to speak. Mac and Dillon head after it, but are both swiftly dispatched.
Yeah.
The creature then kills Billy and Poncho and wounds Dutch, but spares Anna. Dutch works out that the creature keeps sparing Anna because she's unarmed, and it is obviously seeking some level of sport in the people it hunts.
Yeah. And so the first thing she does is grab a machine gun.
Yes. but obviously Dutch takes it off her. Yeah. Dutch then urges Anna to make a run for the helicopter.
Yes.
I may be paraphrasing. He falls into a ravine immediately afterwards, and then into a river, and then down a waterfall. It's not looking good for him.
No.
He crawls out into a mudslick and is surprised to find that coating his body in mud is enough to prevent the creature from detecting him. He builds various elaborate booby traps and siege devices, and after a battle of wits, the creature corners him. Realising Dutch is unarmed, except for his massive arms, that is, the creature removes its armour and technological weaponry to reveal that it was Anna all along. No, of course it wasn't. It was a ghastly alien from another world.
Yeah. Oh, is that the alien from the start?
Yep.
Flew in on a spaceship?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why that was there.
Yes. Dutch and the creature fight, and Dutch escapes to the relative safety of his booby-trapped den. The creature is not so stupid as to fall for a booby trap and walks around the trap, but straight into another trap, which Dutch uses to crush him.
Yeah.
Before he can bludgeon it to death, the creature appears to be struggling to breathe, and Dutch takes pity. Then the creature starts laughing, and Dutch realises its plan to detonate itself. The creature blows up, laying waste to untold swathes of rainforest and breaking countless conservation laws in the process.
Yeah.
But Dutch is fine and gets to the chopper, and that's the end.
Yeah.
So that's Predator.
Yeah.
That was Predator. That creature, in case anyone didn't know, is the Predator.
Yeah, he's just called Predator.
Yeah. I think it was cut in the credits. It's called The Predator.
Yeah.
But colloquially, The Predator.
Yeah.
A predator. A species of predators. What did you think of Predator?
It's okay.
Great. Well, that's episode 103 of the That's What I Podcast. See you next week.
It's like a sort of, one of those quintessential 80s lean, mean action movie machines. It's about 90 minutes long and it wears it pretty well for the most part, I think. Although it could probably be about 60 minutes if you played all of the slow motion at normal speed.
Yeah.
And it's just like incredibly cheesy. I mean, it's basically like, a deadly alien walks into Commando 2 and, is better than all of them. Yeah, it's all right. It's a sort of film that you see when you're at school and you think is like amazing.
Yeah.
And then you watch it when you're an adult and you're like, yeah, it's all right.
It's the sort of movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger would say is amazing. Because it's got the big men and everyone's very manly. Everyone's very manly. You see how this woman is in the movie and she's just in love with them all because they're so manly.
Yeah. I think that part of my problem with it, well, it's not so much a problem, but just why I'm not in love with the film, I guess, is that I don't really like Predator. Like I don't like the Predator.
No.
He's not a particularly compelling movie monster.
No. It looks like a man in a rubber costume.
Yeah, it does. And
because it is.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of my issues with it stem from the fact that it's basically the polar opposite of my favourite movie monster, which is the Xenomorph.
Yeah. From Alien.
Yeah. In that it doesn't feel like Predator like really has any sort of, it doesn't stand for anything. Like it's got, obviously the Xenomorph doesn't stand for anything either, but it's like a primal, thoughtless machine, thoughtless,
it's survival in like
it's purest
creature form. Yeah.
Whereas Predator, it's just like, you a fox hunter who's gone intergalactic.
That's not a bad concept though.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not,
it's rubbish.
I think that it's like sort of abilities and physiology are clouded by all of its technology and gadgets, and then it finally takes all of that off, and it's just like you say, it's a man in a rubber suit who does like those, ridiculous like B-movie sort of arm swipes that send Arnold Schwarzenegger like flying 30 feet through the air.
Exactly.
And it's just like, it's not frightening. Like the film's, I think, at its best when they're just like going through the jungle and coming across like skinned bodies, and you're getting like the thermal view of them all going through the jungle and all that sort of thing. That's all fine. Like that's all quite good. And then it sort of, for me, it loses it a little bit after that. Like once Arnie decides to like have a boxing match with it.
Basically. Really? I kind of feel the opposite.
Right.
So let me explain why. Right. Now, I think Arnold is good to watch, generally speaking. And,
like we're on record as saying that we're Arnie fans.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Arnie, the character, the movie character, not necessarily the man. But him outthinking an alien is a good film. It's a good concept.
Yeah, that's true. Like all of that plays out relatively wordlessly, which is good. And like I'm grateful for that, rather than him going, I can cover myself in mud and it won't see me. Yeah. I better set some traps. All of that is just sort of unsaid.
Scottish Arnold.
Mercifully.
Yeah. The idea of taking away like weaponry and going back to basics is interesting. I mean, I imagine there was a run of films where obviously like the biggest guns are the best. And this was kind of maybe a refreshing take on that, to say, oh, going back to a bow and arrow actually is good. And that's an interesting approach. However, the mindless slaughter of the Venezuelan resistance, not that compelling.
That's true, yeah.
Not interesting. Could be interesting, but not in this movie. And there's no attempt made to make anything particularly interesting for the first hour, I think. We don't care why they're there. Like, it's first of all, there's like, oh no, we're going to save a diplomat. And you're like, okay, I can get behind a diplomat. And then it's like, no, it's a double cross. I'm like, well, I don't care, because nothing. Yeah. Why have it as a double cross? Because
here's how you fix that: is to just take the opening scene of the spaceship arriving out. Yeah. Because then you just then you're just watching an 80s action movie where an alien shows up halfway through, and you're like, oh my god. Whereas by right at the start, going, an alien lands on Earth, exactly, and then this happens. Like,
yeah, exactly. My problem isn't that there's a big establishing scene where all the army men are being army men and being like, oh, my wife's got a big fanny. Like, that's what they're saying.
You know all about army men.
And my problem is that there's such a big meal made out of them being double crossed by Dillon, as if like there's like it's really significant. Like, oh, we're here to save a diplomat, and I know you've tricked us, and we're getting CIA intelligence. Yeah. So well, why don't they just have them rescue the diplomat? It doesn't have any better. Like Anna, the character of Anna, could have been the diplomat.
But then again, it would have worked had you not realised like straight away that it's a film about some people fighting an alien. Yeah. Like because otherwise it's just a mission goes badly. Yeah. And they think part of the reason is because they've been betrayed by this guy who's supposed to be a best friend with the.
The mission goes well. They carry out the mission perfectly.
No, but they can't. You know, the diplomat's not actually there. It's a CIA guy and all that sort of thing. Yeah. Like, and it's a bit.
And you think it's that tension. Movie.
Yeah. And then the movie changes when it becomes clear that other stuff's going on.
Yeah. The problem is too early on you see the heat vision. Yeah. And you know it's an alien, and you're like, well, get on with it.
You see a spaceship in the first 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And you think, get on with the action. The other problem I've got with it is that Arnold. He says, I'm not an assassin. I'm not going to go any... He has no
The reason he's not an assassin is because he's like firing a machine gun into like a crowd of people. Yeah. And that's not what an assassin does. Yeah. Like assassin applies some sort of delicacy to the art. And he's just like the bluntest of blunt instruments.
Yeah. Like why have a character with any value system if 5 seconds after they say, I have a value system, they're like, my value system's gone.
Yeah, imagine if later on when they show the Predator and he's like, oh, he doesn't attack you if you don't have a weapon. Yeah. And then the Predator just attacks someone who's unarmed, like straight away.
Like I'm fine. It would have been more interesting if Arnold goes, I don't kill people and they're bad, right? Yeah. And then doesn't kill anyone for the whole movie and then is forced to kill the Predator. That would be like slightly more interesting. Something like that would be interesting. What the other part, and this is, I'm almost done with my rant. The other part that makes it excruciatingly boring is the fact that the soundtrack is either off, like you have just nothing, or it's on like a 11, being like.
It's just like 80s action music, isn't it?
But it doesn't matter what's happening on screen. It could be like someone shaving, or Arnold like going over the rapids, or someone getting like. Hunted, and it's still just it's this all the way through and with no nuance.
Yeah, see, like to me the soundtrack sounds like, do you know when you used to have those like keyboards at school and you'd put it on like the sound effect thing
DJ,
and then you go like just press like You go, oh, what does this key do? What does this key do? What is it? And like the whole film, the soundtrack's just like da 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 da, like DJ, like it's just like it is rubbish soundtrack.
Yeah.
DJ! Yo! Go!
Yeah. There's one good part. There's like, I think it's from another film where it's kind of like it's kind of like the Terminator, like doo doo doo.
Right.
And like it'd be like Arnold like stood over the bodies of his comrades saluting.
Yeah.
And there's this like trumpet music playing.
Yeah.
Which is delicate and emotional.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is like
DJ!
Speaking of Arnie, there's a section in this film which always makes me laugh because of how comical it looks, which is when they're about to attack the guerrilla base, and he goes like wait here and I'll be back, or whatever he says, and he like crawls head first down the hill like that. Now, watching it this time, it put me in mind of a time that you got really drunk at a house party that we were at, and the police got called, and you'd been put in the bath because you're in such a state. Yeah. And then as the police were downstairs like lecturing us for causing too much noise, you crawled head first down the stairs into the room where the police were. And that's is exactly the same crawl. If you look up Arnold Schwarzenegger crawling into the guerrilla camp like that, like down a sort of 45-degree incline on this hill, or like on his belly, that's exactly what you did. Yeah. And then I opened fire on those police, sent them running. And he said, "I'm not an assassin."
Yeah. I remember it vaguely.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Good memories. That's the sort of
insight that people tune in for.
Rambunctious lives we had when we were a kid.
Yeah.
The police being called, climbing trees, crawling through gaps in swimming pools. We were terrorists.
Yeah. You win 5 points if you get all of those references. Yeah. So the cast of Predator, Joe, they've gone on to some diverse things, haven't they?
Yeah. 2 US senators.
Governors.
Governors.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's go. Well, I'll go through. Obviously, governor of California, 2003 to 2011.
And otherwise being Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Jesse Ventura. Yeah. Governor of Minnesota. Yep. From 1999 to 2003. Yeah.
Big in the wrestling world as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Shane Black. Writer and director, and went on to direct a number of films, including Iron Man 3, which is the 12th highest grossing film ever. And he's currently working on his The Predator, which is due next year. Okay. And he's, I believe, written and directed that. Carl Weathers, of course, memorably played himself in Arrested Development. To much hilarity, if you've seen that. But I want to talk about...
Also Apollo Creed.
Yes, of course, although that was before this, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Rocky 2 and Rocky 3.
Yeah, fine. I want to talk about Sonny Landon, who plays Billy, the Native American-looking guy. Yeah. So, Sonny Landon... Yeah. During the filming of Predator, he was apparently very difficult to work with on the set due to roid rage, because he was on the old steroids. To the extent that the filmmakers hired bodyguards not to protect him, but to protect everyone else working on the film from him. Sonny Landon started out in pornography. Right. Sonny Landon was also in The Warriors.
Okay, yeah. He was.
Yeah, as a police officer who gets his legs broken. Mm-hmm. Sonny Landon was married 5 times and has 4 children. Okay. And I think trying to ape the political success of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura, Sonny Landon stood as a Republican candidate for the governor of Kentucky in 2003, and also stood as a Republican Senate candidate for Kentucky in 2004, and again as a Libertarian candidate in 2008. In 2008, on the same day as announcing his candidacy, he was accused of calling for a genocide against Arabs, calling them camel dung shovelers, camel jockeys, and ragheads. 3 days later, the Kentucky Libertarians voted unanimously to withdraw his candidacy.
Right.
Hasn't done much since.
No.
And as of October the 2nd, 2016, he has a GoFundMe page set up in his name after he lost both legs in a car accident and is now homeless.
Well,
what a life.
That took a turn.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Around the part where he started being incredibly racist and calling for a genocide of Arab people.
Yeah, and then losing his leg. It's not I mean, it's like It Comes at Night. It's just depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sonny Landon there.
Yeah.
One of the less successful sons of Predator.
Wow. Is he going to be in The Predator?
I wouldn't imagine so.
He could be.
I don't think they want to be associated with him.
It's interesting, isn't it, that this phenomenon in films when something happens to someone in a film, and it happens, like he broke his legs, you said, in
Warriors, yeah.
And now he hasn't got any. Well, like the guy in Star Wars who got force choked by Vader, he died of throat cancer, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Right.
Amazing stuff. What a world. Chris, we need to know what we need to know.
Yep.
And we will learn all about what we need to know
Mm-hmm.
when we face the Predator after this.
This episode of How to Survive is sponsored by Mr. T Luxury Teas, who bring you this week's piece of useless IMDb trivia. This week's film is Predator. During the film's production in Mexico, Richard Chavez, who plays Poncho, was bitten by ants. That fact might not be worth knowing, but Mr. T certainly is. Head over to Mr. T Luxury Teas to choose from a wide range of traditional, herbal and fruit teas from all over the world, packed with health benefits and gathered to help you get the most out of your day. Visit mr-tea.co.uk or Google Mr. T Luxury Teas to find us. Use offer code SURVIVE at checkout to receive 10% off any order you make.
So, Chris, what do we know about Predator? And for this, I turned to the Predator Wikia.
Oh yeah,
for some help.
Yeah.
So, not all of this, maybe not all of this, is in the film.
Well, Predator is one of these sort of movie monsters that, for whatever reason, inspires a unending stream of outside content.
Yeah, you might say sluice of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Comic books, video games, adaptations, and versus movies.
Yeah, fan fiction.
Yeah,
graphic novels. Yeah.
There was an Alien vs Predator. There was an Alien vs Predator 2, so it did better. It was obviously better received than Freddy vs Jason.
Yeah, there was an Alien vs Predator graphic novel, and then an Alien vs Predator versus Ash from the Evil Dead.
Yeah,
graphic novel.
Read them both, have you?
No.
You know a lot about them, though.
No, I don't. You know my policy about not reading around films.
Yeah, if it's not in the film, it doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm cheating here a little.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see the wider context of that man in a rubber suit with a foldy up mouth.
From Preddy versus Arnold.
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't bad, was it? So the species, Chris, is the Yautja.
Okay.
It's Yautja. So it could be Yautja. It could be a soft J.
Right.
Yautja. Known colloquially as the predators or hunters. They're an extraterrestrial species characterized by their hunting of other dangerous species for sport and honor, including humans. They were also referred to once as xenopredators. Right?
Right.
I don't know when that was, but the Yautja are a sentient humanoid race that breathe an atmosphere similar to that of Earth's, but possess a level of technological advancement far in excess of anything available to humans.
Mm-hmm.
The predators stalk and kill their prey using a combination of highly advanced technology, such as active camouflage and energy weapons, combined with traditional ancient weapons, such as blades, spears, and nets. The predators often ritualistically mutilate their victims and usually claim a trophy from their kills. Capable of interstellar travel in starships, the predators have hunted on Earth for centuries and have also had prior contact with the engineers.
Yeah.
They've been known to deliberately breed xenomorphs in order to hunt them, often as part of initiation rituals for young predators.
Do you remember when we watched Alien Covenant and I said that everything that happens in that film makes Alien weaker by proxy?
Yeah.
That goes for everything that Predator does, and that everywhere that franchise goes.
I wonder if there's ever been another film franchise which relied so heavily on another existing film franchise.
Predator 2, of course, has a scene where Danny Glover, who is like a New York or LA police officer, he goes on the Predator's ship and there's like a wall adorned with all the skulls.
Yeah.
And one of them is a alien queen skull, I think. It's good, isn't it? Fan service. We like a bit of fan service here.
We don't get enough of it, really. So that's the Yautja, the predators. Well, let's hope that's useful in our next discussion.
Yeah.
How to survive against a predator.
Yeah.
So I'm suspecting we've got a very similar one.
Okay.
On one of them.
I'm interested to know whether or not that's the case.
So I'll go first then on that basis.
Yeah.
Throw away your guns immediately.
No, I didn't write that because I thought it was too basic.
Too obvious.
Yeah.
Too obvious.
Yeah.
Well, hear me out. Hear me out on
okay.
Basics, yes. Fundamentals, I'd say. As soon as you work out it's not going to kill people who are unarmed, just throw your guns down. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, when it comes across Arnold with no gun, it takes off its armor and basically makes itself as vulnerable as possible.
Yeah, but it does still attack them.
Yeah. But
and also, what if they throw all their guns down and then like walk into another group of Venezuelans?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
well, then the predator would kill them.
You'd have to be very sure, wouldn't you? Like you'd have to know without a shadow of a doubt that that's how he operated.
Yeah. It's a bit of a supposition.
Yeah.
But it's proven correct. It's proven correct. It doesn't kill Anna, and it when it finds out Arnie is unarmed, it makes itself as vulnerable as possible.
Yeah.
And then Arnie kills it and survives. Anna, also unarmed, survives. Everyone who throws away their guns or loses their guns survives, with the exception of your friend Billy.
Yeah.
Who actually cuts his own chest open in a...
Didn't help, did it?
No, it didn't. But he still had the knife in his hand, so there you go.
Doing his job, doing the Predator's job for him, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're only dealing with the Predator, that seems like the way to go, because, as you say, we don't see the Predator kill anyone who is unarmed.
Exactly.
Or so much as attack them. So that makes a lot of sense. It seems to appeal to the value system of the Predator as outlined in the Wiki article that you read just a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, that's my first idea.
Yeah,
anyway.
Watertight, I'd say. My one is perhaps more simple. Keep your fuel dump off-site.
Yeah.
We've had a few instances of keep X dangerous thing off-site recently. So maybe I think it's approaching how to survive top tip levels of frequency.
Yeah.
But basically...
Proper storage of explosives.
Yeah, well, Arnie goes... there's a fuel dump there. And the fuel dump he's referring to is on the back of a lorry, which has like constantly turning wheels because it's pumping, I presume, the fuel.
Yeah.
And Arnie just like sneaks down and lifts it off the sort of like chocks or whatever it's on. And it like drives through the village and like destroys everything.
To be fair though, they maybe thought, this is safe. They gave it a good kick and thought this is going to stay the test of time.
Well, right. Well,
and they didn't expect Mr. Universe to walk out
Yeah,
of
but
the
here's
woods.
the question. Would it have been safer, like, they're on a hill, basically.
Yeah.
Don't have it uphill of your village. And secondly, would it not have been safer, like, downhill, facing away from the village?
Yeah.
at worst, you're going to have to spend another like $20 Venezuelan on hose pipe to pump the fuel back up or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's going to save your life at the end of the day, because it literally kills about a dozen of them by driving into their little like shack where they're playing cards or whatever.
Yeah.
And exploding.
Yeah, that's I mean, again, killing unarmed men.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine how many 80s like action movie henchmen have been killed for standing too close to like explosive barrels of oil.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a cliche.
Tankers of petrol.
Yeah. Like, if it's a cliche, like it is, like a joke that you would find in action movies, that's probably for a reason, and that's because they keep doing it. Yeah. So don't do it. Yeah. Do
you think the Venezuelan militia have seen many 80s action movies?
Probably. In the 1980s, I'm sure they have.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't look like they've got many TVs or cinemas but in the jungle.
Right. Like, if I was on a campsite and there was like an enormous like fuel dump, and we were walking around with automatic firearms everywhere, even like outside of the fact that we might, get attacked by US military, like you're just walking around with guns, they could go off accidentally. Just have it like a few 100 meters down the road by a long hose pipe. Yeah, much safer.
Not an unfair point.
Yeah.
Do you think Arnold could have just carried it into camp?
What, the whole truck?
Yeah, because he does lift it. Maybe he could just turn it around and force it back in.
Oh, is it if it was parked far away?
Yeah.
No, I think they would have had to change their tactics.
Yeah.
And then there's like a dozen extra Venezuelan militia to help them defend the place.
Yeah.
How about you?
My tips are Mac.
Oh yeah.
Who you recall is the one who loves shaving.
Yeah.
To a fault.
Yeah. Obsessed with it.
Yeah. He there's a scene where he's basically says, I'm gonna keep first watch. And his watch involves him standing on a tree and shouting at the moon for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I'd say if you're being hunted by something that's technologically advanced, or anything for that matter, keep quiet.
Yeah.
So that much my tip. It seems like a how to survive basic, really.
Just don't alert yourself to...
If hiding, be quiet.
Yeah.
Is the point.
It's sort of a fundamental element of hiding, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've played hide and seek with, nieces and nephews, and they'll shout from their hiding place, so you can't find me, and you go, right, that's that game over there.
Yeah.
That was rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Predator's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's taking the sport element out of it, if anything, isn't it? You're not making anyone happy.
No.
Maybe, because Mac doesn't die when he's doing that. No. So maybe he's making himself so obvious that the Predator's there's no fun in it for him.
Yeah.
So maybe he should have gone around shouting all the time, because it's only when he tries to sneak up on the Predator that he gets killed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, with that little laser pointer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are dangerous, those, aren't they? You can see why...
have an eye out, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you think if he just run around going, kill me, I'm right here.
Well, if he didn't have his gun with him, then definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. In fact, that's what Arnie does later. The reason Arnie prevails is because he makes himself as obvious as possible by shouting like a wolf howl from like the top of a waterfall.
Yep, that's true.
So in a general sense, you're right that if you're hiding, you should stay as hidden as possible. But it appears that the Predator, you stand a better chance against the Predator if you never shut up.
Fair point. Any more thoughts from you there?
One final one. The famous line, get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been needed, Joe, would it, if they had not blown up the helicopter that was in the enemy camp at the start of the film? Because that's as far as they need to go into the jungle. That is a ready-made escape option.
Yep.
They blow it up needlessly, and then they're left waiting for rescue that comes too late for most of them, and also needing to hike all the way back into the neighbouring country because of the like tricky political situation that they're finding themselves in by being there. Whereas if you flew out in a Venezuelan helicopter, no one would bat an eyelid because it's like, oh, that must be from that military camp that's down there.
Yeah,
that's their helicopter. That all seems fine.
It was quite a small helicopter. It was only two manner.
Do 2 trips
for 10 people.
Yeah, but it's two men and then the cargo bay.
I guess they could have all just hung off the legs.
Yeah, the skids.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, even if it takes you a few trips, that's going to be a much better situation than all being killed by an alien.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. Why did they take Anna as prisoner?
Because it's unsightly to kill a woman, probably.
Yeah, I've got a tip for her, just off the cuff. If you're about to shoot someone in the back of the head, shoot them. Like she had a handgun, and she's shooting Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is he's as wide as a Mini Cooper.
Big head as well.
Yeah. You're not going to miss.
Large target.
Yeah,
it's harder to miss Arnold Schwarzenegger if you fire a gun.
Exactly. Yeah, and she's like trying to sneak right up on him, and she get knocked out. So you feel happy that if we were confronted by a Younger, that we'd be able to survive?
Yeah, I think so. And it's 100 episodes since Alien.
Okay.
Since we covered Alien. Which out of the 2 films do you prefer, Joe?
Well, it's a close call.
Yeah.
But given the context that we received from later editions, Aliens, Alien Covenant, Prometheus, and the world building that's come from the back of it, I'm comfortable saying that Alien is the better film.
Yeah. Correct. And that's the only reason Alien's any good is because of the world building.
Because of the explanation. Yeah. Next week on the podcast of How to Survive, we're talking 1993. We're talking dinosaurs. We're talking Jeff Goldblum. We're talking Steven Spielberg. We're talking Sam Neill. We're talking Wayne Knight. We're talking
You didn't say the magic word.
We're talking Tyrannosaurus Rex. We're talking Velociraptor. We're talking... We're talking Jeeps. We're talking Richard Attenborough. A movie is Jurassic Park.
Yep. 100 episodes since we covered Jurassic World.
Oh, wow. It's like
it's all planned, isn't it?
Yeah. It rhymes.
Like poetry.
I look forward to that next week.
Yeah.
If you've got any thoughts how you'd survive in Jurassic Park, on Jurassic Park?
In Jurassic Park?
In the park.
Yeah.
Which is on an island.
Yeah.
Right.
On Island Nubla.
Yeah, let us know. Email address is howtosurviveshow@gmail.com. Or you can reach us on Twitter @howtosurvivepod. Or indeed on Facebook at facebook.com/howtosurvivepod.
Yes.
And what I noticed, Chris, is a couple of weeks ago we said we'd be cancelling the podcast if people didn't leave us a 5-star review. I noticed one brave person did. One sensible person did.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I hope you're all grateful, guys, who are listening to this.
What I do notice, though, is that was it.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's thousands of you listening, and that doesn't make sense.
No.
And I know
that does not add up.
Yeah. The total review count is at 60, and that is less than thousands. Yeah. So what are the rest of you doing? I mean, if you're listening to this, it seems likely you haven't left a review.
Yeah.
Let's put an end to that right now. And if you don't leave us a review, every single one of you, that's it.
Yeah.
No Jurassic Park.
So we can see how many people download the podcast each week. It's getting larger all the time.
Yeah.
We're up to triple digits now.
Yeah.
For the total lifetime. Yeah. And so we know if you're listening and you're not leaving a review, and we have your contact details.
Yeah.
And we will be in touch.
What you don't realise is when you download the podcast, you actually, all of your your home address, your email
all
address
of your iTunes information
is sent to us in an email.
Yeah.
And we're allowed, as podcast makers, we're allowed to judge you.
Yeah. It's actually all in the small print. Yeah. And you're fools for not reading.
Yeah, if you didn't read the iTunes terms of use, then yes, this is your. And what we'll do is we'll just judge you. We'll just read your name and go, well.
Yeah. So, for example, I've got one here, and we're talking about you, Kevin from London.
Yeah. Kevin from London, you better buck your ideas up
and leave a review,
or we'll cancel Jurassic Park. How about that? Not only that, we'll go back through time. Stop Spielberg from making it.
Yeah, Spelberg. Simon Spelberg's.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. But...
DJ!
Next week, we're going all the way back, Chris. Mm-hmm. A Steven Spielberg classic about an unstoppable, monstrous force, which is now long dead. Firm favourite of yours, I think, which is... you used to play with the dolls, didn't you, when you were a child? All the little toys. You used to pretend to be them, didn't you? In this particular film. Schindler's List.
It's rubbish. It's not even a joke.
It is, because it's Jurassic Park. Because you like... Schindler's List, Steven Spielberg film.
Right.
90s.
Right.
So it's a Steven Spielberg film from the 90s.
Yeah.
In which you pretend to be the things in the playground, right? That's the gag.
Right.
And you pretended to be the Nazis, as my joke.
Great.
So Steven Spielberg's 90s classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Much enjoyed by a young Chris Morris on the playground, as I recall. I'm gonna keep
what?
going.
No, don't.
No, why?
Because it's rubbish.
It's
not.
fucking
It's not a good joke,
excellent
mate.
Joke.
It's a terrible joke. It's not even a joke.
Well, because you're a Nazi.
No, because
It's
like,
not. It's the truth.
It's not. It's not like. It's not a clear like the definitions of all the parts of the joke are not clear enough for it to carry enough of the message.
Right. Jurassic Park. Next week on the show,